everybody, my name is Myra Janell. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So today we're doing an interview. I've been wanting to do one of these Q&As for a minute so that people can get more information about who I am and how my brand is and what I'm doing. Today I just want to say thank you to Jared. He'll be interviewing me, and then thank you to Jonathan who will be recording me today. But before we get started, I want to just say a word of prayer and then we'll dive right in. So, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. I thank you so much for all the things that you continue to do. I pray that you cleanse our hearts and our minds and our souls and our bodies, Lord, and allow us to just continue to put our eyes on you, Father. And I thank you so much for having Jared here. You know exactly what he needs. You know the things that you need to provide for him. And God, you make ways out of no ways. So God, I pray that you just continue to bless him and keep him. And thank you for allowing him to be able to be used today and interviewing me. And God, I want to thank Jonathan for being able to record. And I just pray that you continue to bless him, allow him to plant his feet in different places that he didn't even think were possible. And so God, I thank you so much for me, how you've changed me and how you transformed me and allowed me to do things that I didn't even think I was capable of doing. And I just pray that you have your way in this place and allow this interview to just go the way that you want it to go, and that it touches people's lives that you want it to touch. And if there's anybody that needs a breakthrough, a miracle, or any type of blessing or any type of healing, that they receive it. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen. So here we go. We're about to jump right into these interview questions, and without further ado, let's go, Jared.
Right. Well, hello, Myra.
Hi, Jared.
Long time no see you.
I know.
All right. Just a little background. Myra's a big sister to me. Had a lot of great history, okay? So I'm so happy to be here. So we're gonna dive into some questions for you, okay? So I know that you're a talented artist. Very talented artist. So just as far as your music process, what does your creative process look like as a up-and-coming artist?
So I usually like to listen to other people's music, or sometimes now I've kind of gotten a space of just quietness and trying to be in my place of peace and solitude. And then I'll begin writing, or whatever God has me write, or the things that he puts into my mind, or what I'll just start writing. And then from then on, if I'm prepared to go to the studio, then I'm going right to the studio and gonna go record. And then I also reach out to Quentin Tarantino. He's my music producer that I usually use, and he creates the beats for me. So from then on, after the beats made and I have the writing done, I'm going into the studio and I'm recording. I'm not wasting time if I'm prepared and I just want to drop a single. Now, when it comes to like a full project, I usually take my time and I'll make sure all the songs are written. I know the things that I'm singing about, or even when I get to the studio, I'll freestyle some parts. But the majority of like the hooks and the things I want to say are gonna be done. So that's pretty much how it goes in my process.
Awesome. So, if you could describe your music, the type of music that you make for your audience, how would you describe the music that you typically create?
So it'll be gospel and like inspirational. So I want to be an inspirational artist to other people and to remind them that you can stay true to who you are, and that it's important to deliver messages that people need, because I think music can be very healing towards people, and then it can kind of invoke things in people to be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And to point them back to God in a sense, so that they can get more clarity of who he is shining through me.
I wholeheartedly agree. That's absolutely wonderful. So, a lot of artists have a dream artist they would love to collaborate with. Somebody they would love to do a song with, right? So, who would most likely be your favorite artist that you want to collaborate with?
Oh man, do I have to narrow it down to just one?
Do a bunch.
I would say 3 artists. So my main 3 are Madison. I think her name is Madison Ryan Ward. She's out of Tennessee and she's so dope. And she has inspirational music, but she like dabbles in R&B, but it's always talking back to God. So I really love her. Ty Tribbett's another one. Tasha Cobbs, and then my last one would be Jacqueline Carr, because they all have like a way of shifting the atmosphere, using what God gave them and just helping other people to get healing and do different things that they need to hear. So yeah.
Gotcha. So it's a very different music industry today. So it really flips from generation to generation, from decade to decade. So about this industry today, if you could change one thing about it, what would that be?
So I would definitely change the narrative that only sex sells, because that you can be yourself and you can keep your clothes on and have a clear message of what people need to hear. So I would would change that, and I would also change that you have to get your body done in order to make it, because I think it's important, like I said, it's important to stay true to who you are and not think that you have to change who you are in order to fit in somewhere. God didn't call us to fit in, he called us to be outside of the box and to change the world for a purpose, for his purpose that he has for us. So those would be the two things that I would change.
So, for your fan base, okay, what is one positive message that you would give out to all your fans?
So I would tell all of my fans, well, first, thank you for supporting me if you have thus far, and if you're new, thank you. I hope that I've been a role model to you in some way, shape, or form, or inspired you to do something that you never thought you could do. But to answer your question, I would say stay true to who you are. Don't forget what God called you into, and know that he made you that way for a reason. So you're unique and you have a purpose, and there's something down inside of you that God wants to use. So don't think that you're too filthy, or you've done so many things in the past or made some certain types of mistakes that God can't use you. So
Right. So if you were to go on tour, right, and a lot of artists have performed in a lot of different places, countries, major cities, what would be your number one place that you would love to perform in?
Oh man, I would say London. I've been wanting to visit London for a minute, just because I'm big on fashion and I've been kind of wanting to explore in different cities. So yeah, I would say London.
And speaking of fashion, right? What and who, is your favorite fashion role model? Who do you model your fashion after, or is it, custom yourself?
Okay, so it's actually a little bit of both. I will say I really like Misa Hilton. She's a dope stylist and fashion designer. She's out of New York, I believe, but she's worked with a lot of artists. But then also, like, even for me, I piece things together just through the creative mind that God's given me. So I've been able to like see things and piece things out and just put them together. Even this outfit today. So this outfit today is from the brand label out of New York, and I have to read this. So I thought it was so fitting because today I'm doing a Q&A about my purpose, right? And so on the card of the tag it says, the woman wearing our garment will tell her story about who she is and what her brand represents, and that the most important story we should ever tell, designed with purpose. EXO, Shaq, and Ola. So shout out to the brand label. I'm just grateful for what God has been doing. And then he also changed my way of dress, because there was a point in time where I was wearing things that weren't so pleasing to him in a sense, and God kind of like shifted me into modesty. He was like, you want to be certain things, but what are you doing? You need to change your style of dress. So, and you're reaching different generations. So if you're trying to be a role model to them or see how God is working in your life, you need to change the way that you dress, and so you're more appeasing and pleasing to God. So yeah.
In your musical journey, you had to overcome a lot of things, right? You had to get past a lot of roadblocks. So how would you say that you overcome fear?
Okay, so not like most singers, I was not the one that was running to the mic. I was running away from the mic. And I did not want to be in front of people. I had stage fright. Like, it took a lot. I didn't start singing by myself till college. So I had one of my guy friends nudge me. It was like, we have open mic night, and you're singing Lift Every Voice. You don't have a choice. And I was like, okay. So that was my first time like stepping out and getting over my fear of being in front of people. And then also, like, all my friends would nudge me, my parents would nudge me, and they knew this point in time would come that I would overcome my fear and not be so afraid, because, like I said, when God places things down on the inside of you and he wants to use you, you can't be afraid, and you can't be worried about what other people are thinking or projecting onto you, because there's something inside of you that needs to reach other people. It's not about you, it's about what God gave you to use. So, yeah.
Right, and you've done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
An absolutely wonderful job. So, we're at the part of the interview where I always want to ask who the artist is. Who are you? So, I would love to ask, who is Myra Janell?
So, Myra Janell, if you don't know me, and this is your first time, Myra Janell is a woman of faith, a woman who prays. There's a song that I have, My Time, and there's a line in there that says, I don't play about mine. So I'm a person that doesn't play about people that I care about. people are messing with my family or talking about people that I care about or just putting people down. I really don't like that. I'm a person that likes to uplift people and encourage people that you can be the best that you can be regardless of what other people say about you. And then also I'm a woman that just wants to teach these young girls and ladies that you don't have to show your body and you don't have to do all these things that the industry does. You can change the narrative and still reach people, because who your people are and who people God calls to see you, it will be reached to that capacity. So that's just a little bit about me, and even through my music you'll learn a little bit more. I kind of like to take my time at revealing each piece of myself, not to reveal too much at one time. I think there's times and seasons when you reveal certain parts to yourself. But yeah, I'm just grateful for what God has done this far. Even me speaking in front of a camera, I think my grandfather would be proud. Shout out to my papa, because he interviewed me, I think when I was younger. Even my dad, they would interview me all the time, and my siblings, and just have the camera. And it's been a minute since I've actually had this one-on-one time. And even Constance was the first person to break me out of that again when she called me to speak on her podcast. So I look forward to doing more of these things like this. But yeah, that's a little bit of piece of who Myra Janell is.
So, I got one more for you. So in terms of the music, the fashion, the stardom that you will reach, what is next for you?
So next, I don't want to give too much away, but I do want to, so my next move is an album. I've been writing songs for that. Not sure when it'll come out yet, but this will be a change because my first EP was R&B side, so this is going to be more gospel and more things of what God has been telling me to speak. So it'll be a shift, but it'll be a great shift in the right direction. So I'm grateful for that aspect of it, and I can't wait to see what else he does. So, yeah.
We cannot wait to hear that. I know I'm excited. I know the fans are excited. Just for one last question. I know I said the last one, but I got one more for you. Where could fans reach you?
Okay, so you can follow me at I am Myra Janell, and that's I am MyraJanell on Instagram. And then also you can go to my website, which is myrajanell.com. On there you will find, so this is my magazine that I dropped earlier this year on January 29th. And then, and then my merch is also there. But everything that's connected to my brand and everything that's a part of me is on myrajanell.com. Again, that's MyraJanell.com.
Right, and y'all make sure to follow her. Y'all make sure to get some merch. Y'all make sure to really keep in contact with her, okay? Like I said, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to do this interview with you. And without further ado, we are out of here.
Thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see y'all again.